Hey there, boaters. I'm Captain Stacey Hanrahan, and welcome to Wednesday's episode of Boaters TV. First up, our Captain's Caption photo was provided by Hugh Williams. We'll reveal the caption of the day at the end of the show. Coming up in Smooth Sailing, a tall ship that still sails the seas, in this week's Mad Mariner Report. Most tall ships today are retired. Many are museum pieces that will never set sail again, but there are a few of these special ships that still sail the world's oceans with a purpose beyond exhibition. This week, Mad Mariner introduces us to such a ship, the Picton Castle. The Picton Castle is a 179-foot steel bark that still serves as a sail training vessel. Trainees pay for the opportunity to learn the skills of a sail-age seaman and are instructed by 12 professional crew members. The Picton Castle recently set sail from her home port in Nova Scotia on a year-long trip around the Atlantic Basin. Some of the trainees aboard will stay for just 1 or 2 legs of the voyage, while others will stay aboard for the full year. Stops include ports in Ireland, Western Europe, South America, and the Caribbean before arriving back home next May. Along the way, the cadets of all ages will learn how to live as seamen of the 19th century. They'll learn the jargon, the various names of the sails and lines. They'll climb the intimidating rat lines 10 stories above deck. And they'll relearn the little things, turning out the lights, conserving water, and forgetting about cell phones. Some things may not be so little to the trainees. But they're in good hands. Their captain, Daniel Moreland, has spent more than 30 years at sea with several circumnavigations under his belt. Surprisingly, the Picton Castle wasn't built as a sailing ship. She started life in 1928 as a motorized fishing trawler in the UK. During World War II, the ship was used by the Royal Navy as a minesweeper. In the early 90s, she went through a $2 million refit. A classic clipper bow and 3 steel masts were added, and voila! An old Welsh fishing trawler became a modern version of a traditional bark. To read more about the Picton Castle, her history, and her crew, go to www.madmariner.com. Next up, in Just for the Hall of It, you've got mail. During a time when email seems to be the preferred way to send a letter, one post office is doing what it can to keep snail mail popular. Vanuatu Post opened the world's first underwater post office. That's right, an underwater post office that's been visited by thousands since opening in 2003. Vanuatu is an island nation in the South Pacific Ocean that relies heavily on tourism. People from all over the world come to explore its pristine coral reefs. And what do you do on vacation? You send postcards. In Vanuatu, you send waterproof postcards. This government-owned underwater branch is only 50 meters offshore and lies just 3 meters deep. It's staffed most days, and the mailmen are trained scuba divers. For more information, go to www.vanuatupost.vu. In other wacky mail news, did you know some people in the U.S. still receive theirs by boat? Every summer, the residents on Lake Geneva in Wisconsin check their mailboxes on the dock rather than the road. A vessel named the Walworth is actually part mail delivery vessel, part tour boat. What would make people want to ride along with the mailman? It's the mail girls, actually. They're called mail jumpers, young ladies who jump off the moving boat, run across the dock, pick up outgoing mail, deliver new mail, then sprint back to the still moving boat just in time to leap aboard. Can you imagine the extra effort needed on rainy days or phone book drop days? The mail delivery is a show in of itself, but passengers are also read a history of Geneva along the 2.5-hour mail route. Mailboat service in the area goes back to the late 1800s when local roads were undeveloped, making delivery by boat the best option. Sure, there are roads around the lake now, but few folks are willing to give up the tradition. For more information on this mail boat tour, go to www.cruiselakegeneva.com. Coming up in Did You Know, we're debunking sunscreen myths. Summer is in full swing, and so is the boating season. Now, I don't mean to bring down the party, but with boating fun in the sun comes the chance of becoming a skin cancer patient. More than 1 million cases of skin cancer are diagnosed each year, and skin cancer happens to be the most common cancer among men over 50. Do you know how to protect yourself? In this month's Boat US magazine, Elaine Dickinson dispelled some common sunscreen myths, including, if the label says it's waterproof, you don't need to reapply. Not true. The FDA doesn't recognize the term waterproof. They do test sunscreens and label them water, sweat, perspiration resistant, which means a product will protect after 40 minutes in the water, while very water, sweat, perspiration resistant means it will still protect after 80 minutes. Which leads us to the next myth. Once you put on sunscreen, you're good for the entire day. Wrong again. Regardless of SPF, no sunscreen will be effective after 2 hours. That's when the active ingredients begin to break down. So make reapplying a habit. Another myth, you can use sunscreens left over from last summer. Now, I'm as cheap as they come, but I still buy a new bottle of lotion each year. Yes, the FDA requires sunscreens to be chemically stable for up to 3 years, but as Elaine points out, if you're using the right amount, there shouldn't be much left over. This next myth was always my excuse for getting a tan. I heard I need the sun to get vitamin D. Guess I've been called out because there has never been a study that proved the use of sunscreen causes a vitamin D deficiency. You can easily get enough vitamin D by eating certain foods such as eggs, salmon, milk, and orange juice. Even easier, take a vitamin D pill. So slap on the sunscreen and enjoy your summer. To read Elaine's entire article on sunscreen myths, check out the July issue of Boat US magazine. And for more information on skin cancer, go to the American Academy of Dermatology's website at www.aad.org. Now it's time to reveal Stacey's TheBoaters.com Sealebrity profile pick of the day, which is Captain Ben Gonzalez and his 54-foot Bertram Carlito's Way. Ben has a 200-ton captain's license and has logged more than 19,000 nautical miles. He's been in the Marine Service field for 20 years. Whoa, looks like Ben's not afraid of whale sharks. Welcome to the Boaters, and congrats on your Sealebrity status. And finally today, the captain's caption of the day is, the frog says, "Yippee, he's got beer, it's party time." Submitted by Tom Vendowski. And that'll do it for this episode of The Boaters TV. See you back here on Friday.